may be 95 degrees outside, but the real estate market in North Metro Atlanta is finally cooling off. Or is it? Hi, I'm Sarah Maslowski with KeyPoint Homes Group, a local real estate agent here in the North Metro Atlanta area, and my team and I specialize in helping clients from all over relocate right here to Georgia. Homes are sitting longer, price drops are climbing, or rather going down, lowering, and buyers are getting their power back. So while the weather's heating up, the market's telling a different story. Let's take a look at what's really going on here in the Northeast Metro Atlanta area. The real estate market in the North Metro Atlanta suburbs, including towns like Alpharetta, Johns Creek, Cumming, and Suwanee, is currently undergoing a notable shift. Homes in these highly desired pockets are still moving relatively quickly, averaging around 26 to 29 days on the market. Now, that is slightly quicker than the broader metro area, where homes are taking around 45 days to sell, which is quite the increase from 36-day average a year ago. Highly sought-after homes in top-rated school zones or prime neighborhoods are still selling within 12 to 14 days on average, but homes that are overpriced or lacking updates are sitting and often need price adjustments to get buyers in the door. In fact, nearly 30% of listings in the North Metro suburbs are experiencing price reductions, which is a big sign that buyers are gaining leverage. Across the broader Atlanta area, this number is higher, closer to 37%, as the market becomes more balanced. Pricing trends tell a slightly different story. Across the North Metro, we have seen average home prices range from $749,000 in Suwanee to $686,000 in Cumming, and a whopping $919,000 in Alpharetta, all of which have significantly increased from this time last year. However, that appreciation isn't evenly distributed. While move-in ready, well-located homes still are taking and commanding top dollar, sellers in less competitive price brackets or overbuilt areas are finding they need to adjust their expectations. The median price across the greater Metro Atlanta area sits at approximately $435,000, with only less than 0.5% increase year over year. That smaller increase, paired with the rising number of price drops, suggests that we're in a cooling but not collapsing market. Sellers who entered the market hoping to ride last year's high prices are being met with more educated buyers and more competition from new inventory, not to mention buyers feeling very fatigued from the higher interest rate, which means we as agents have had to really set sellers straight on their expectations. Inventory is playing a big role in all of this. The number of homes for sale in Metro Atlanta is way up from years past, and we are up more than 45% year over year in some areas. In the suburbs specifically, while still slightly favoring sellers, the market is edging towards a more balanced position. And much of this increase in inventory is coming from a flood of new listings paired with more homeowners testing the waters after sitting out during the high interest rate period of 23, 24, hoping that something was going to come down. The result is a lot less urgency for buyers. There's more options on the table and a growing sense that overpricing is not a winning strategy, but it can still be difficult to get sellers to realize this. Now, there are three major things that go into selling a home: price, location, and condition. All three of these have to be right in order for a home to sell here in the Northeast Metro area in our current market. If a home is in a hot location like Alpharetta or Cumming, it's a lot easier to list your home and get that sold quickly. But you still need to make sure that the pricing and condition are where they need to be as well. Let me give you a really good example of this. I recently listed a newer build home in Cumming. It was built by Toll Brothers, so great condition, and Cumming is a very highly desired location. Now, there are 8 other houses that were for sale in this exact same neighborhood, and they're currently still for sale, and they've been on the market for quite some time. Clearly, since the location and condition are not the issue here, it's all about the price. We listed at an aggressive but reasonable price on a Thursday and had multiple offers by the end of the very first weekend. Now, I was working with a very smart and motivated seller, and he knew that the homes in his neighborhood were just sitting because the sellers had way overpriced them based on comparables. So he trusted me and my knowledge and research and went with the price that the market was saying was right. And this is how we ended up in a multiple offer situation. There are so many challenges with overpricing a home. I can make a whole video on how that can be a detriment to sellers. My point here is that in this market, with interest rates the way that they are and all of the uncertainty in the world right now, if you need to sell your home, you have to be reasonable. You can't just throw the house up for sale and get multiple offers immediately if you have not prepared the home and priced it accordingly. Like we talked about earlier, there is just so much more inventory now than in years past. Buyers are a lot pickier, so they have a ton of options. They don't have to force themselves into a home just because it checks off some of their boxes. They have plenty of options to choose from, they're being way more picky, and they want something move-in ready. So if you haven't touched your home in the last 15 years and the paint color is dated and your cabinetry and appliances are dated, buyers are really taking this into consideration, and they are comparing your house with every other home that they don't have to make those updates for. Now, as far as interest rates go, 30-year fixed rate mortgages are currently sitting in the mid sixes. There's 6.7, 6.8 range, slightly down from the 7% highs that we saw from last fall and earlier this year. Now, this small but meaningful drop has helped stir some renewed interest among buyers, with mortgage applications being increased, especially first-time homebuyers and those that are relocating to the area from higher-cost markets. Forecasts for the remainder of the year suggest rates may continue to inch downward, but let's talk about more like a centimeter crawl downward, possibly settling in the mid 6% range. In the meantime, many lenders and builders in North Metro Atlanta are offering rate buydowns, closing cost assistance, and other incentives to try and get some of their inventory off their books. I've spoken to several new construction neighborhoods that are offering permanent rate buydowns, like a 5.5% permanent conventional rate, plus paying 2.5% in closing costs. When you have these great rate incentives and closing cost options, in many cases, it makes a new construction home a no-brainer compared to resale options, especially if the home is older and has systems or a roof that are coming to the end of their life. That's a huge expense that a buyer is looking at in the foreseeable future, and it makes new construction just so attractive. This is another big thing that is huge for sellers to realize. If you live in an area with a ton of new construction options, you're going to have to be very competitive with pricing, because why wouldn't someone want a newer home, especially if they can get it for a lot cheaper? Now, one thing that we have noticed personally with all of the buyers that we have helped in the last several months is that we have not had one buyer have to pay full asking price without being able to negotiate substantial closing cost. And this is significant because it definitely tells me and shows me that the market is turning towards buyers in their favor. And this is a great thing if you are a buyer in the market. You have a lot more negotiating room. Overall, this is a market where both buyers and sellers need to act strategically. Buyers have a lot more negotiating power, more homes to choose from, and reduced pressure to submit offers above asking. Now, sellers, on the other hand, they can still make great money on the sale of their home. Most are sitting on a pile of equity, but it's crucial that it's priced right and that it shows well. Turnkey properties in great locations like Alpharetta or Cumming are still seeing multiple offers in some cases. But for the most part, the days of throwing that listing up and getting top dollar for it in a weekend are gone for now. Instead, we're in a market defined by smart pricing, creative financing solutions, and a growing focus on value and move-in ready homes. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Are you interested in taking advantage of some of the killer incentives builders are offering, or do you plan on waiting or maybe going after a resale home where you have a lot more negotiating power right now? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. If you're interested in making a move here to Georgia, my team and I would love to help you. You can find my information by clicking the link in the pinned comment below this video. If you want to know more about what's going on here in the Northeast Metro Atlanta area, you have to check out this video next.